Yeah, thank you, Zac. Just want to acknowledge the traditional landowners for the land on which where we are today, in the beautiful city of Joondalup. Just want to acknowledge the elders, past and present, and thank them for the safe passage on this wonderful land today.
Thanks, Doug. So welcome everyone. We're here today to talk about everything esports, gaming, online content creation. We've got 4 very talented individuals here with us who come from all walks of that career line, that career path line. And we'll just start by introducing everyone here. Kiki, would you like to start?
Sure, I'll start. My name's Kiki, or Kira is my real name, but I go by Kiki as my online alias. I stream full-time on Twitch. I think I've been doing it about 5 years now, and yeah, I've been gained like a lot of opportunities. I've signed with Pentanet, so they kind of manage me and I work with them and we do things like this.
Thank you. My name's Doug. I'm the commercial manager for VenuesWest, so I have the great opportunity to look at opportunities like exist in esports and support participation and making sure that we fill our venues with a richness of activity that supports our youth and others into a healthy and fulfilling leisure time.
Thanks, Doug. I'm Stephen Cornish. I'm the founder and managing director of Pentanet. So I started Pentanet to build like a telecommunications network, and then started Pentanet GG because I'm passionate about gaming as well. And yeah, I'm sure we'll go into that later on. But
hey, my name's Ryan. I'm the coach for the Pentanet League of Legends team. I was a pro player for about 6 or 7 years, but now that I'm an old man, I decided to take upon coaching. So I wanted to join the best organisation for League of Legends in Australia. And I believe that's Pentanet.
Thanks, guys. Steve, I guess we'll start off with you. You're kind of the reason we're a big part of the reason we're all here today. So what made you want to get into esports, and particularly what made you want to get into League of Legends?
Why I got into League of Legends, because I just like playing online games. So League of Legends was just a game that I started playing, and it's quite addictive to keep playing. That was about 8 years ago. So I'm still terrible. And first I just want to thank everyone for coming out. This initially was just like a bit of a photo opportunity for us down here with the players, and we're kind of doing this online event. So I appreciate everyone coming down. I wanted to, the telecommunications network came first, right? So I was playing League of Legends, and as most of you might know, because you probably all play games, the internet isn't very good here in Perth for gaming. So I felt that was the reason why I wasn't any good at playing League of Legends, because I was stuck in bronze. And so I set about building my own private internet connection to reduce my latency, and that kind of gave rise to Pentanet, which some of you may know. We're like a local telecommunications company now. So Pentanet was kind of built off the back of wanting to create a better internet for gaming. So the network came first, and then why we got involved in League of Legends was because basically we had the opportunity to get one of the licenses to play professionally. We took that opportunity and put the team together, and here's where we are today. We've been running the team for 2 years, and we're a Perth and a WA-based company. Our team do play from over east, but what I'm really all about is wanting to drive and build the esports and gaming industry here out of WA, because we always kind of get left behind. But Perth and WA has a really interesting opportunity because of our vicinity to Asia. We can actually train and compete against the Asian servers, and we're in the same time zone, and get exposure to better players that we can train against. That's kind of what I'm about.
Yeah, what an ambitious journey you've been on so far, but it's going terrifically. I guess Chippy, over to you. How does one get into professional esports, especially in the Oz region?
Well, for me and I'd say most others, you need to just play the game and get pretty high ranking. So in League it's Challenger, and I got about rank 10 before I got reached out to join a team. And then if you play well on your first team, then more teams will keep reaching out to you. So the first step is just playing well individually, and whatever ladder your game is, solo queue.
Yeah, brilliant. And has your esports career taken you overseas thus far?
Yeah, I've won the league in Oceania about 3 times. So I've gone Brazil, China, where else was it? Yeah, just a bunch of different countries. And I went to America for a year to play in a team there. So I'd say esports is really good if you like traveling. You get so many opportunities opened up.
Yeah, brilliant. And Steve was sort of talking before about Perth having that, having the advantage in terms of the location to Southeast Asia and the Sydney servers. In the off season, you've explained to me before that you've actually used to travel to Southeast Asia to train out of there, but now there's probably the opportunity to just do it from Perth.
Yeah, when I was a player, I'd go to Korea every single year instead of when I had time off work. Instead of going to see my family, I'd have to go to Korea to train. But now, if what we're trying to do at Pentanet works, you wouldn't have to do that. You could play from Perth and versus all these really good players. So I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, incredible. I guess over to you, Kiki. How does one become a Twitch streamer, a content creator? How did that all start for you? Did it start from a hobby that turned into a career, and how did that go?
Yeah, I kind of navigated it myself, to be honest. I fell into, I guess, gaming when I was about 15 or 16. I actually walked into a LAN cafe, and I just saw like all these people playing computers the way that I hadn't seen them used before. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, I was just mesmerized. And so I ended up getting a job there, and I worked there for a few years. And I managed it till I was about 18. Then I went to uni. I started working EB Games. And then one day, somebody was watching Twitch, and I was just like, what is that? Like, why is that person sitting there getting paid money to like play games or just talk to the people in their chat? And I was just like, no, like I think I had about 6 months left of uni, and I was like, I'm gonna put everything, graduate uni, and then I'm gonna buy a computer and I'm gonna start streaming. And then even when I started streaming, I didn't even really know what I was doing. I wasn't like friends or like familiar with anyone that was streaming. So I sat there on like 10 viewers for like a good 3 months until somebody in like Australia found me, and they were like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you talking to people? Why don't you have Twitter? So it was just like this gradual process of like meeting people, networking, gaining a community, and here I am.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. And Doug, you're from VenuesWest, and we were sort of discussing the community aspect, and that's something we're sort of trying to discover together in terms of esports. But how do you sort of see that playing out, the sort of community grassroots esports sort of angle for VenuesWest?
Yeah, thanks. I think it starts with visibility, and it takes a certain braveness to introduce a new sport to the world or support new sports. I mean, you think about it, the history of many of the traditional sports that we've got, they are ancient in their foundation. And then you look at one of the most popular sports in Australia, AFL, is relatively new, but the newness of esports requires us actually supporting, creating awareness around it. And again, referencing where we sit today, we have one of the highest densities of young people in all of Australia, so it's quite fitting that in this place we have some young people in the audience today. And I think VenuesWest recognises that it doesn't know what it doesn't know, so we really need to walk together to understand where this esport journey can take us, and we feel it's important for us to support it. We recognise that there are high performance players in this sport, and high performance is actually one of the things that VenuesWest is all about. So the currency of this is an emerging sport on the landscape is something we really want to support. We want to encourage people to consider it, at least, if not participate in it. And if we can, walk with the esports community and actually provide opportunities for a physical representation in venues, well, that'd be fantastic. And one day, if that results in, as we would hope it to result, in mass participation at events and create real visibility over the level of professionalism that goes into esports, well, we couldn't be more proud than to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just on that high performance piece, maybe to you, Stephen, one would assume just playing the game lots and lots and lots is the best way to get good at it, but right. I think...
It didn't work out in my case.
But in terms of the comparisons to traditional sport to esports, what do esports players do to aside from playing the game to stay at top performance?
Yeah, look, I can talk to what I know. Obviously, I don't live it like these guys, but it's not just about playing the game. And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to be involved in, is that, you know, there's a lot of kids out there who want to play and want a game, but there also might be this disassociation with their parents, understanding what's going on and that sort of thing. So yeah, we want to like elevate it, because it's not just about playing the game like in a dark room for 18 hours a day. It's around you know, being involved with the community, close with your team, having good mental health, you know, having a healthy lifestyle, and then being able to, I guess, from the professional level, and you can talk to the Chippys, kind of play a few games and then sit back and reflect with people and mentorship on how your games went and like how to get better. Maybe taking a step back and just being in the game, you know, for 18 hours a day kind of thing. But you know, I'm not a pro player.
Well,
I know the team.
Yeah, so maybe Chippy, do you want to explain from the coach's perspective in terms of getting the best out of your players? What does that sort of look like on a day-to-day basis?
I'd say you have to watch teams that are a lot better than you and players that are better than you, and you have to write down what they're doing better and try to implement that yourself or have someone implement it for you. So you need to be going into each game with something in your mind that you're going to be improving on, instead of just like jumping in a voice chat with your boys and just playing mindlessly. That's like the most fun way to play, but it's not the best way to improve. So you need to be playing with intention.
Yeah, absolutely. And Steve, back to you, just the whole sort of the boot camp that the players are currently out here doing. What is that
Right.
sort of aiming to achieve?
Yeah, look, so what we're trying to do is, like where I see us going, like in the next few years, I want esports to be, like I want Perth to kind of be on the map in terms of esports. And what we can leverage is the opportunity of being able to train against the Asian servers. Because with these pro gamers, you can only really be as good as the people you're training against. And there's an esport industry in Asia, in North America, and Europe. And we have a very small industry here in Australia, but it's based over east. So all of the Australian Oceanic players only have each other to train against. So I've been saying for years, hey, if we base this out of Perth, we can actually boot camp and train against the better players, because the proximity to us to Singapore is the same as Sydney. So, you know, Perth really has the most strategic advantage for esports, and it hasn't been harnessed yet. But there's a lot of effort that needs to go into kind of convincing everyone, and then cultivating that. And you know, it's good to have VenuesWest and the state and everyone on board. But yeah, the whole point of this trip right now, this boot camp, was so our players could all come to Perth and start training on the Asian servers, and we're testing that theory because Pentanet had to build our network out to Singapore to enable this. And yeah, it was great because on the weekend they were scrimming or training against Vietnam, and we were actually able to win one of the games, which also showed Vietnam, which is a very strong region, that Australia is worth training against, because you know they don't want to be training against people who are too far below them. But it was, you know, they have some value training against us as well, which means we now have credibility to train against those top teams. Yeah, that's certainly a journey ahead.
Absolutely. And Kiki, esports content creator, to be a professional streamer, do you need to be good at the games that you're playing, or is it entertainment? Is it being good? What does it take to be a professional streamer?
Knowing my content, I feel like you planted this question.
I did not.
So I feel like personally what I've learned from streaming over the years is you can either be very, very good at a specific game or gaming in general, and you'll accrue an audience. Whereas you can also be just very bad and a very good entertainer. And if you keep that audience engaged, then they're going to stick around, and then you're going to have viewership, and then that's kind of just where it all goes from there. Or you could be somewhere in between. I am definitely a terrible gamer. I do try, whereas but I also appreciate pro gamers, and I'm definitely surrounded by pro gamers, and I do my best to learn from pro gamers. Still learning. But yeah, no, there's definitely one or the other or somewhere in the middle, but no, you don't need to be a pro gamer to make money from playing games, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a combination of the two, or it's one or the other. It doesn't really, They're not codependent on one another.
No, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I spent a lot of, I'm like a different generation, so I spent a lot of my childhood playing games. My upbringing was more around, like Dad would take the controller or the mouse away if I didn't do this, and there was a very high level of lack of understanding. But the skills that I learned from playing the games that I played, like all the strategy games and Civilization, Age of Empires, that sort of thing, like I use all that today in running a business. And I think it's sort of a well-known fact. I didn't actually, not that I'm promoting this, but I didn't finish high school. But it was like the skills that I learned from gaming that enabled me to like now run a company. So I still kind of, just multiple problem solving after problem solving, and I do credit a lot of that to playing games. But there's probably a better balance than what I did. It's interesting because when I ask people, I do find that like every second person growing up these days, they want to be a streamer or a gamer or something like that, whether they'll acknowledge it or not. So I think what we're doing is trying to really create that credible pathway for them to go about doing it the right way and lead them ultimately to success. Because, it's no secret there's success at the end of playing pro tennis and pro golf and pro other sports. There's a lot of success from doing that really well. There's equal, if not more, success at the end of the career path of like what you can do online. But it's about finding it and interacting with that path in the right way.
It was just like the Wild West when I joined. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I just like signed up to this website and I didn't know anyone from Australia or like nothing. Like if there was something that was created, like a proper pathway, I was going to like any opportunity. Like I would have been here today. Like I was going to PAX. I was going to every panel, just trying to like learn how to get sponsorships, like how to grow, what not to do, what to do. Like I was taking anything in anywhere I could. I was Googling it because there was nothing tangible to like learn from. So now that like structure is starting to like evolve and even like schools are doing it and things like that, I'm just like, it makes more sense and it's a lot easier for kids maybe.
What we want to create is like fast forward a few years, there'll be like the Pentaplex, and the Pentaplex is where the same you got Auskick playing at the local field, and they'll go and like potentially go work up to Waffle, and at Auskick you can get mentor, you got coaches. Because we are building out esports, like we have professional coaches and managers and that on hand, we want to run like training camps through schools and go and find like the next generation of the best players and people that want to play. And then they'll be able to come through the system almost and like come to workshops and go to training, at the Pentaplex and have access to people who do it professionally as mentors and how to explain like, no, you don't. At professional level, if that's where you want to go, no, we don't yell at the game. We don't like throw our controllers. We don't, like, you can get upset at things sometimes, but there's a right way to do things. And yeah, so really how we want to do that is like from everything we want to build into the Pentaplex. Like everything here, like you probably saw the Pentanet Stadium and that here, like it's all just like small stepping stones to what we ultimately want to build. But in order for us to build it, it's around trying to engage as many people as we can and trying to spread the message that like that is what we're ultimately wanting to build, and then getting people to assist and support us in that by signing up and like coming when you see there's a workshop happening and we're playing these games, like come and do it, because the more people know the greater message about what we're trying to build, the quicker we can get there. Because I won't stop until we build it, but the more people that get on board to build it, the easier it will be to get done. Because I think there's a lot of people out there that want to do this. They've got no idea that the structure exists or is getting built for Perth. No, well, look, thanks everyone for coming. Again, it's a small thing, but like we really appreciate being able to talk to it, and it's great for us to take the opportunity for having the team here and people can meet them. And yeah, it's if you guys know anyone who likes playing games and maybe next time someone who says, they want to play games professionally and whatnot, maybe take them a bit more seriously and try to spread the word that Pentanet GG are looking to build that ecosystem for the state. Because one day I think VenuesWest are very interested in this, say, we could bring the big esports teams here, the same as like Manchester is coming here to play. Like we could bring big international teams here to Perth to play and show off our state and the tourism, which is obviously things we also have to get growing again. But yeah, it's all just around spreading that word and the message. Thanks.